This is Anka Metcalf with TradeOutloud.com. Welcome to the Swing Trade Watch List and Market Outlook for the week of January 9th, 2017. We're going to start off with XOM. This is the first chart that has been on my radar for quite some time now. It has stabilized support for about 2 weeks at $89.85. And last week it broke the support level, pulling in all the way into this prior support area, actually resistance, now support for price at $88. We have an ascending 50-period moving average. We have also an ascending 200-period moving average. And a break above this resistance at $89 can actually find more buyers that can push this stock higher into the 90 target area, 91, all the way into 94 and even 96. So it has a very good risk to reward ratio, and this would be a very good entry, and we will watch it. It's going to be the first ones that we're going to watch at the beginning of the week. The next stock that I will review tonight is American Airlines. American Airlines is a very strong stock. It had a very dynamic 2016. Now it is pulling in to the 50-period moving average into a prior support area. So obviously this is going to be my area of interest around $47 for a potential long continuation into $50. And actually for a core trade for a medium term all the way into $55 zone. So this is going to be on our watch list. It is on our watch list as well. Next one is cake, and this is the Cheesecake Factory. It had a push into $64, actually 64 and change. It had pulled in all the way into $58 area, and it's trying to consolidate at this $58 area. The more it sits in this area, the more price has odds to bounce, and actually we can consider a trigger over $59 with a potential rebound all the way into $62, $64, $65, and actually it does have a lot of room to continue higher. So cake is going to be on our watch list as well. NOV continues to be on the watch list, although it's a little sloppy on the daily chart. It just erased a lot of resistance on the monthly chart and is trying to find support here at $37 and change. And this area is actually a 200 moving average on a monthly chart, which can potentially hold the price into this area, projecting it higher. Obviously, we're going to look for a target all the way into $44 for short and medium term. And also, it has room to run as a potential core trade into the $50 and $55 for throughout the year. So right now it's creating this V formation with support at $37. It needs to erase this choppiness all the way into $39, all the way into, it's about a 50-cent chop. And it's going to be very hard to break through this. But once it breaks through this area, it can actually release a lot of buying pressure continuing higher. So NOV is going to our swing trading watch list as well for this week. CME Group, this is another stock that is very interesting. It gapped down. The gap down occurred into a support area right here from this prior high, from this resistance on November 9th. It pulled in, it found support on the 50-period moving average, and it's trying to erase this resistance area at 117.40, and if we break this resistance area, we could go for a gap fill all the way into 120 and further target, as you can see here, into 124. Microsoft. Microsoft has been very, very strong throughout 2017, and once it price stabilized at that $50 price zone, and it just pushed higher and higher. So now we're getting a little bit of a shallow pullback, not a pullback that I'm very comfortable with, but I'm going to watch this area as if we're going to be bullish into next week, and the price is going to continue higher. We had a really good dynamic on Friday afternoon, which suggests that finishing that strong, we might continue the bullish trend for at least the beginning of the week. And don't forget that we're starting earnings season, so this could be a big catalyst on the price fluctuations for throughout the week next week. But nonetheless, it found support here at $62. I would have loved a pullback at least into 60.50. We're gonna watch this area for a very short, for a short-term trade, probably a 2 day, 2 to 3 day swing. We're gonna see how everything is gonna set up on Monday, and at the beginning of the week, actually Monday or Tuesday, depending on price action. But we do see a continuation into $64, and that is going to be a first target, and it has room to run into $66, even $67. So Microsoft is going to be on the list as well. Nvidia can be very tricky at this point. It is trying to find support here on the 20-period moving average. Let's not forget that every single time Nvidia had a pullback into the 20-period moving average, it got bought again. So even though it had this extreme rally, and even with this gap up, this was a gap and go scenario, pull back into the 20, continuation higher again, pull back in the 20, continuation higher again, and the price was attracted again to the 20-period moving average. So we're going to evaluate this area. Nonetheless, we're going to look for a potential buy, and actually this can start as a day trade slash swing trade. Don't forget that the risk in this trade is rather high because the price is very jumpy, but 104.50 can be the trigger for Monday, with the protective stop below 101.03. So this can actually have room to continue higher, obviously into 110, 112, and 119.93, which is the all-time high for Nvidia. SPLS continues to be very interesting. Actually, I was watching it as a breakout over $10 price area. It has failed to do so, so it has never pushed higher, and it decided to pull back, testing the $9 area. We're going to see how this is going to develop through time, and this is not going to be one of those very rapid trades. This is a very, very slow trade, but if it should develop, it's going to try to grind higher, slower. So support we have at $8.80, and we have resistance at 9.30. So a break of 9.30 can project that higher into 10, and even higher. But at $10, gonna have some. It may be we may see some profit taking around that area, but if we push higher into through that $10 area, we can continue into 11 and 11.50. So I do really like SPLS, and I'm gonna monitor and see how it trades. HRB, we're getting close to reporting our taxes, and HRB is always kind of like one of those stocks which becomes trendy, especially around this time of year. So what I like about it is mostly the higher time frame charts, and that is the monthly chart. So after this sharp pullback that we had, and this was in excuse me, in March and April, the stock has been trying to stabilize at this $20, creating support, and $24 for a possible breakout area. Then that can potentially unleash more buying power into 27, 28, 32, 35, and $37 area for a medium even to a long term trade. Going back to the daily chart. So what I'm going to be watching is this $24 area and see how it reacts. Obviously, we're going to look for a support area of 22.70, and under 22.70, I'm going to look for a continuation pattern all the way into 28 for a first target area in HRB. BAX is one of the stock that I'm looking for, and this is more of a core trade than a swing trade. So I'm just going to bring up the weekly chart, and I like the consolidation at $44. It doesn't have a lot of risk. Actually $46 is the clear out area for it, and it does have room to continue higher into the $48 and $50 area. So it has support. It has support right here at 43.15, and we're going to monitor this setup that is developing on the weekly chart. FDX. FedEx, very interesting onto the daily chart. I'm going to bring the daily chart up here. Pull back into the 50-period moving average and is trying to consolidate higher. And it does have room to continue into the $200 area. So it has a really nice potential for continuation higher. So FedEx is obviously on our swing trading long watch list. Another one that is setting up pretty interestingly right here, it is also setting up nicely on the weekly chart and actually is creating a nice, is trying to create a nice buy pocket onto the daily chart, is Rider. Ticker symbol is R, and the trigger with this would be to clear the 76.50 area for a possible continuation higher into the $80 and $85. Rider continues to have support here under 73. 73.76, and if we look on the weekly chart, what I like here is that we have a solid 200 moving average that is trying to keep price at that level. PM, and this is Philip Morris, is trying to consolidate here at the $92 area. We have an ascending pattern all the way from these lows here, double bottom at 86.90 and a continuation higher. So we have a bullish pattern here, a bullish pennant forming at about $92, and a break off this $92, we can bring the bulls back in all the way to 95.20. At 95.20, we can expect some kind of a pullback because it's running into this resistance area that was created from these lows back in October, and a break through this area can continue higher into the 97.98. But this would be a first push higher into the 94 area, which gives us a pretty good risk to reward ratio. So this was Philip Morris. MET, and don't forget, this week I will be monitoring the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference that will start tomorrow. MET is actually a really nice pullback into the 50-period moving average, creating this solid base here on the daily chart. And a break over this resistance area can unleash more buying power that can project it into the $58 area and actually into the 60. So it has projections into the 60. Protective stops and support is below $53. KMB, Kimberly-Clark, is trying to round the bottom right here. It formed a low of 111.30 and it's trying to grind a little higher. We had enough time stabilizing at this point. We have a crossover of the 20 and the 50-period moving average, and a break of this resistance area can unleash a lot of buying power all the way into that can project the stock into the 120, 123, 125 area, and actually setting up very, very strongly onto the weekly chart as well. So you can see the support right here at 111.30 where we saw it on the daily chart, and it's trying to grind higher. And like I said, a lot of buying pressure is coming here, and once the price is going to escape through this area, it's just going to carry through higher. BBY, and this is Best Buy, is actually after creating this phenomenal high of 49.40 in December, it pulled back. The gap support did not hold, but obviously we see some bottoming tails here forming, which means that we might see some kind of price stabilization into this area. So over $43, I will watch and see if we're getting more buying signals, and this would actually be a really nice continuation higher into the $45, $47, and $50. So it looks very, very bullish at this point. XRX, well, let's start with a higher time frame chart when XRX. I'm gonna move to a monthly chart. So XRX gap down into support right here, found some buying power. However, it is actually, and this is the monthly chart, which we can see that. So basically, this represents only about few days, four days of trading activity in January. However, it didn't really have the power to continue that higher. So this is a double take for me. In terms of, I'm going to try to see if I can short it under $7. And I'm going to have a protective stop of only 25 cents plus the wiggle rooms for the stops, obviously. But I'm going to look for a first target into the 750 area. And if it remains weak in the 750 area, I'm going to look for further targets into the $6 area. And that would put us into a lot of R's here, considering the tight stop. This is also a double take because we can have a short squeeze that could actually take the price and fill the gap. So at this point, this can actually be considered a long, but only over $7.25. And the protective stop has to be obviously below this support level. And projected targets for this, believe it or not, it's going to be around $8 and about 50 cents. So it's going to be a double take for me. I'm going to put it on my watch list and see how it's going to trade. Let's talk about some shorts. And obviously, retailers are having a very hard time continuing higher. Obviously, M just gapped down into support area. So this is a very tricky area. Again, it's just like XRX. It's kind of like a double take on this because it's sitting on a lot of support on the monthly chart and the weekly chart. And also you can see here that there's support coming from this daily chart all the way from back in May. So these are the parameters that are going to define what Macy's is going to be doing in the next couple of days. If we get a break above $31.85, we're going to continue higher with the target of 34 and change into, let's say, a max top out into 36.50. If we get a breakdown, and this is going to be the tricky one, if we're going to get a breakdown below $30.50, and we have a lot of indecision on this bar right here that came in on Friday, which means that, you know, buyers and sellers were at the negotiating table. They still don't know which, you know, who's going to take control and take charge. But nonetheless, price closed in the lower half of the prior candlestick. So a break below this $30.50 can actually potentially take it lower to these lows that we see here of $29.94 and even lower into the $25 area. So we're going to see how that's going to play out. Speaking of shorts, this is another short idea that I've also posted on Twitter. We have TSEO, and this is Tractor Supply. We have resistance at $78.40, and we have support here at $75. $75, and this is the area. So it's a little bit of a wide stop here for this stock, but this stock can move. So far, since the gap up, it projected lower, created a new low of 61.50, then it turned around higher, and right now it's running into a lot of resistance from the weekly chart and even from the monthly chart, which is trying to bend the price again back to the lower side. So if we break below the $75 area, this is going to be the area where it's going to have some issues into the 72, 75. But if it breaks this area, boom, it's going to go back to the downside about $65 and $62. Last but not least, let's take a look at KSS, and this is the last one that I have for my short list. KSS finished weak yesterday. You can see that it's trading in the latter half of the prior candlestick, and actually a break of $41 can project it lower. This can be a day trade or a swing trade with targets into $40 for the day trade, and actually continuation lower for the swing trade, 37 and 35. So this is something that I'm going to have on my list as soon as Monday morning, and to see how price it reacts, because if it breaks through 41, it's going to be a day trade / swing trade for me type of situation. Even for a core trade, you can look for targets all the way into $35. So it has a lot of potential to move into $35, and actually you can see that the prior low that we had in calls was $33.87. I hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget that we have an upcoming swing trading class if you're interested in the swing trading class. The class starts on January 23rd. It is a 5-day class followed by coaching sessions and followed by scanning sessions. If you want to learn more information about it, you could go to our website, which is tradeoutloud.com, and click under education under swing trading. We also have a swing trading signals that we have available for you. And you could visit also our website under the tab swing trade signals. We deliver 2 to 5 swing and core trade alerts per week, sometimes more depending on market environment and sometimes less, once again depending on market environment. We call exact entry stops and profit target levels. We also help with the management of the trade and post suggestions and what we do in our own accounts. We provide watch lists just like the one you just seen right now. We do a lot of chart analysis. We have a transparent track record that dates all the way back to 2011. We do video recaps every week, and the trades are delivered real time via text messages. So it's very simple to follow, especially if you're a very busy trader. We have an introductory price of $199 a month. If you're interested, make sure you visit our website, tradeoutloud.com, under swing trade signals. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys soon.